On the 18th of December 1981, a young girl walked out of Nairobi University with a bachelor's in architecture. She belongs to a league of women who have never had to struggle to get a job.
By the way you get out of the university, your job is waiting for you. The government almost used to look for us. By the way, you just needed to know this department takes architects, this department takes sociologists. You just walk there. We didn't even used to go for interviews to the Public Service Commission.
Her job is well cut out. Plans, designs, and ensuring that government construction projects meet certain standards is something she has done for over 3 decades now.
Yes. How are you?
This is Kibera, one of the slum upgrading projects where 822 units are already complete. So, what does it take to have an architectural masterpiece?
It must be completely comfortable for the people who are using them. They need to have the dwelling facilities, the social facilities, and even the school. You can even hear from the background, okay, we have not developed the school, but it's part of the program to one-time develop a school. So to have the right environment, you have to have all those facilities.
Architectural masterpieces take time to create. And when your name is associated with all things fast, then excellence becomes a way of life.
Indeed, I was the first indigenous woman to be registered as an architect. I was also the first woman to be employed as an architect in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. I'm sounding like I'm blowing my top.
Hey. I have asked these questions because I know they will inspire more women.
Okay.
Especially for those who are scared of the sciences.
For that purpose, I can say on. Then I was also the first work secretary. I was also the first woman to perform the duties of a chief architect. So I agree, I've had many firsts, but I think is more grace. But I could also say I've worked hard in my life.
Part of her time growing up was spent in Kariobangi in Nairobi's Eastlands at a time when order was the norm.
When I was growing up, as much as it was Eastlands, there was order. It was clean. We had footpaths, the streets were swept, the roads were manageable.
Previously, she was the Works Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development.
This is what we call the executive team in the State Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Today, she has several meetings to attend, and so shuffling from one building to another or a trip to a construction site is nothing new to her. From the time she joined civil service as an assistant architect back in 1982 to her appointment as the principal secretary in 2015, Aidah Munano knows what it means to rise through the ranks.
It's a completely different ballgame, completely different. You know, in public works, we actually develop infrastructure for the government, for the public sector. But now here in housing and urban development, we are actually working for the people. We have direct contact with the people.
There is something about the major cities and towns that bothers Wanjiku, especially when it rains, the drainage system. While she doesn't want to dwell on the past, she says the future looks brighter.
We are taking up the lessons that we have learned because of what has happened. Because obviously, if we are having flooding all over, we have the kind of jams that we have, something is not quite working.
To be a master in architecture, there are certain things you just have to do right. It has been decades of hard work and good play. She prides herself as one of Kenya's few women to take charge of some of the country's biggest architectural projects.
I did the master plan for 12 Engineers Battalion. And we worked in Eldoret, we worked in Mombasa, we were all over building Mariakani, we were all over building for the government. So it's been exciting,
Aidah Munano wears different hats with ease, a professional as well as a mother.
I have 2 children. One of them is the one we saw in the morning, a girl, she's working. I have a son also. My son is my firstborn. He's working as well. He's a finance person. And I have 2 grandchildren, a girl and a boy.
Do they know what their grandmother does?
Yes, they do. They do. You know, like when I'm on TV, Like now, I think Saturday my granddaughter will gather the whole estate. So please come and see my grandmother.
Days, how old are you?
That one you will not know.
I can't guess.
I'm old enough. But you can almost calculate that from when I left school and those kind of things. But I'm nearer 60 than 50. Nearer 60 than even 55. So you can play around with that.
Aidah Munano on what it takes to rise through the ranks in a career and still feel as energetic as you did when you first took the job 3 decades ago. For Citizen Weekend, I am Mawathe.